Hi, my name is Stefano Burdurato, and in today's video, we decided to go down to the wine shop and pick up 6 budget Cabernets under $10 to see if any of them will make me throw up. I hope not. We wanted to try to do a mix of different regions, but at that price point, trying to find something that wasn't gasoline makes it really tough. So we have 2 Argentinian Cabernets. We have the Eccentric and the Trapezio, and then we have 4 from California. We have the Edmundo, the Witching Hour, the A3, and the Firebrand. And I am familiar with a couple of these brands. Moscota Vineyards, I believe, does the Eccentric. A lot of people like them. I've had negative experiences with them, mostly personally. The A3 and the Firebrand, I think we reviewed some of their other offerings in other videos. I don't really remember them, so they probably were not really worthwhile. The other one's completely foreign to me. Cabernet is something where I'm expecting the cheap ones to be really fruity, a really bit of the tannin and alcohol unpleasantness, especially with how young all of these are. I think these are all from the past couple of years. These, we have nothing worth cellar aging here. So we're gonna get into it and we're gonna see, I'm kind of interested to see how the Argentina compares with the Californian wines. I'm hoping that they can, showcase a little bit better as they're in a developing wine region. I think Argentina, Chile, and a lot of South America is really kind of just starting to come into their own, and we'll see how they're faring up. But under $10 Cabernet, we're just gonna see how it goes. All right, so up first is Moscota Vineyards Eccentric Cabernet. I think they have some sort of relationship with Total Wine. If you ever go into one of those stores, they try to sell the crap out of a lot of their different labels. They have these 3 different wines that they box together in a case. They're always on the end caps. I don't remember if they're winery direct or if they have some sort of deal with them, but you pretty much can't avoid at least seeing their wines whenever you go to a Total Wine, which is something that usually is a negative sign to me, right? If you're trying to push it that hard, you probably don't want to be drinking it, right? Good wine should probably sell itself. We'll usually get enough of a following on Reddit or where else for people to learn about it and kind of take note of what the good stuff is. If you're trying to push it at a retailer like that, it's usually, in my opinion, for negative reasons or just because you're spending more money on marketing than you are on actually making the wine itself. So this is a 2021, so this is going to be a very young Cabernet, which means hopefully it's not so tannic to the point where I spit it out, but we'll see how it goes. As expected, a little bit of the burn, a little bit of an unpleasant finish, but the tannins are really actually not too bad with this. It's not as powerful tannins as I expected. However, it is as fruity as I expected. A lot of dark fruit like blackberry, plum, some cherry, raspberry on the side. I mean, there's the oaky and vanilla as well, but I think that kind of plays second fiddle to the fruit, which, from a cheaper Cabernet is really what you would come to expect. And this is altogether not that bad. I mean, a lot of Argentinian wine tries to be a little bit of vibrant, a little bit fruity. I think that they really focus on trying to produce more predominant positive flavors rather than looking for some of the more balanced, elegant wines, which I think their terroir and the limited amount of resources they have in terms of talent for winemaking is probably the way to go for now. I think you need to showcase that you have the fruit, you have the terroir to produce some special grapes, and then over time we'll hopefully see them more develop their a more unique style and their own character. But all in all, for a bottle of wine that's somewhere around $10, it's really not that bad, and not that far off of other Moscota wines I've had that are in higher price points. So this is a pretty decent buy. All right, our second Argentinian Cabernet is Trapezio. I'm not familiar with this brand whatsoever. This is also a young Cabernet, 2017. Couple of years past the first one, but again, nothing too substantial. This one's even cheaper. This is around $8 a bottle. Again, looking for a lot of the dark fruit. You can see in the color of the wine already, it really should be a little bit more of the intense fruit flavor. Hopefully shows like the other Argentinian red without so much of the tannins, and hopefully the finish is, it's $8 wine. I don't know why I'm trying to, pray for these things, but we'll see how it goes. This one's finish is actually a lot more pleasant. It's not really too much of a burn. It's kind of just it almost tastes like you're drinking grape juice, which is not great if you're trying to drink a quality wine, but it's, you know, it's not a disgusting flavor. A lot of strawberry, a lot of it's weird because it almost tastes like you're drinking like a glass of jelly. Like it's jammy, it's strange. The smell is also strange, like a little tobacco, a little oak. But yeah, really jammy in a artificial way, kind of like a apothic red blend. A lot of the others, I think they use some sort of additives in it to try to get that flavor. It's fine and drinkable. It tastes like you're at communion drinking garbage wine, but it's not an unpleasant thing to drink. It just doesn't really taste like you're drinking wine. It kind of tastes like you're drinking some sort of Welch's product that has alcohol in it for kids, I guess. Yeah, it's not good, but it's not disgusting. So, you know, for $8, I guess, you know, I'll take that. All right, next up is Edmundo, which is actually also from Argentina. I am apparently illiterate. It makes sense that a Spanish name would be coming from a Spanish-speaking country. So this is from Mendoza. This is another Argentinian Cabernet. This seems to be from a smaller producer that I'm not really familiar with. Beloved founder Navarro Correas Winery. I don't know what any of this is talking about. I'm really interested now to see 3v3 Argentinian versus California comparison when we're talking about probably one of the more popular grape varietals, one of the easier things for most people to start drinking just because the cheaper stuff is kind of approachable to a lot of people, and then once you get to the more expensive, it becomes a lot more fun for people that care a lot more and have the palate to appreciate wine more. So we're gonna see how this one stacks with the other two. The color seems to be about the same, like the dark garnet color, and we'll hopefully see a lot of the same fruit and have a similar finish that's not terrible. This is really similar to the last one. Actually, it's more similar to the first one. It's more similar to the first one. There's a little bit more of the oak and the vanilla undertones behind the ripe strawberry, plum, blackberry, all of that fun stuff. And this one tastes more like wine, like the first one. I feel like the second wine, the Trapezio, really tasted more like fruit juice. This tastes like they actually tried to make wine with it. The finish is also not too bad on this. There's not really as much of the alcohol burn that I expected from out of a cheap wine. I really expected this to be like motor oil with, you know, fruit snacks mixed in, but it really is not that bad. This is, I think, in the same $8 or $9, $10 price range. I think this and the Eccentric are both decent value for money so far. And if you want to try to start training your palate on understanding flavors of red wine, I think this one has enough different flavors to be able to do that. You've got a little bit of the oak, the vanilla, dark fruits, red fruits. It kind of gives you a little bit to work with in terms of training that palate. So this is a really good, I would say, starter trainer wine. Not too bad, and for $10, you know, I've had a lot worse. All right, up next is Witching Hour Cabernet from California. This is a, where's the year? Please tell me this isn't a non-vintage Cabernet. It's gotta be on here somewhere. Right? Oh dear God. I think this doesn't have a year. Okay, this is a Napa Valley Cabernet. It is possibly not a vintage. Either I'm missing it or this is very concerning. Either way, this is something that was recommended to me at, I think, $8. This was one of the cheaper ones I was able to find, or more affordable, I should say. But the way that the label looks is extremely concerning to me. The color looks okay. The bottle is gonna be something interesting. We're gonna see how this one goes. Oh God, it smells like fruit juice. Oh yeah, like that second one. Just tastes like synthetic fruit juice. It tastes like a fruit snack. It's disgusting. This does not taste like wine to me. It's like, you know, all right, if you're comparing fruit juice, is it a bad fruit juice? Like, I haven't had Welch's grape juice in a while. I haven't had a lot of the other, you know, Concord grape juices that much, but I'd have to say it might be a decent grape juice. I don't know. I don't really drink that. In terms of wine, it's absolutely horrific. This is not something I would serve to someone who wants a glass of wine. If you're in college or high school, you want to get drunk, cool. It's not wine. It really just doesn't taste like wine in any shape or form, and I'm gonna pour the rest of this out. So far, Argentina is off to a much better start than the US. We had 2 of the 3 Argentinian Cabernets under $10 that were drinkable. This A3 2019 is our second out of 3 attempts for the US to show us something decent. This is around $10 a bottle. A3 is a decently sized producer. I know that they have labels across a lot of different varietals. I think we did one of their whites in another video. This actually has a year that was pretty predominantly displayed on it, which was great to see after the last horrific experience. And I'm just hoping that we can see something here that more closely resembles wine and is something that's not going to break my heart for $10. This was a lot different than all the other ones. I feel like the finish on this had more like cassis and the vanilla and a little bit of plum on the finish. A lot of the other ones were kind of fruit to front and back with some of those undertones. This one I feel like more predominantly displayed a lot of those flavors, which was a nice change of pace. I think this is not what I would expect for $10. This drink's like it's more like a $15 to $25 bottle, something that's a little bit more expressive of the winemaking process, taking in a lot more flavors of the barrel, the aging, more so than just the grapes and letting the fruit kind of stand atop everything. For $10, this is pretty decent. I would say it's kind of in line with the first and third Argentinians that were drinkable. A much better showing than the last piece of shit bottle. So I'm really happy to see the US putting together a decent effort here under $10. And we'll see how we finish out with the next one. And finally, we have the Firebrand Barrel Reserve Cabernet. This is a 2020, so again, another younger effort. Firebrand is a large brand that we've covered before. They do a lot of garbage wine across a lot of different varietals. They do the whole barrel reserve thing, I think, just as a marketing piece. I don't think that actually means anything, frankly. This is a $9 bottle from somewhere in California. This is from probably Napa. I'm not sure, it actually doesn't say Napa. Probably from someone's backyard in a dumpster. We'll see how this one does. Right now, in my opinion, I would say we're 2-1 points for Argentina, so this is a chance for the US to tie and kind of have an equal showing, or we're gonna let Argentina take the win for something that's not soccer, which would be really interesting, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, this is not bad. This is, again, the fruit forward, but with the undertones of like the oak and vanilla. The same red fruits, dark fruits, the cherry, the plum that we've been seeing across all of Cabernet, and that you really expect from most, expressions of Cabernet. They're pretty typical flavor profiles. I think this one, more so than the last one, really kind of balanced. I wouldn't say it's not balanced, but I would say it tried to play more between the fruit, the oak, the vanilla, kind of the woody versus fruity undertones, and there's not one that stands out as extremely as in most of the other examples. I kind of honestly came into this with a negative opinion of Firebrand and expected nothing, and I'm decently surprised. I think this is a drinkable wine around $9 to $10 again. It's not terrible. It's something that I wouldn't be ashamed to serve someone, so pretty decent wine, and overall I think the Argentinians and the California were pretty well matched. So, well, after tasting 6 Cabernets under $10, I have to say I was pretty pleasantly surprised. They definitely were a lot more drinkable than I would have assumed or given them credit for. I was a little bit nervous to do a video like this on Cabernet, as with red wines I find that I've had a lot of bad experience with some of the cheaper low quality ones, and that was definitely true for the Trapezio and the Witching Hour. Those were absolutely disgusting, not really anything going for them. But the other ones were, not bad. Most of these were between $8 and $10 a bottle, and they had some sort of wine characteristics that you're looking for. They had a mixture of fruit, wood, oak, vanilla. You had a differing levels of which flavors were predominant, which were undertones. Most of them, the finish was pretty much non-existent, right? It was in and out, but that's nothing that's too surprising when you're talking this price range. I have to say that, my expectations were definitely met or exceeded with this group, and if you're looking for a budget bottle of red, some of these are decent options. So As always, like, subscribe, comment on the video to see what your favorite budget Cabernets are, and if you're in the DC area, check out the link to my wine group below where we taste some of the more fun bottles that are harder to find, along with some great dinners. So thank you again, I'll see you next time.